So I disappeared, but it was on purpose, And it is not because I've given up or because I've lost the vision or anything of that sort. It was because I needed to rest, I needed to reset and to realign. I don't know if you've noticed, but we closed off the year quite early last year, and in hopes that when we get back when we get into the new year, new year, new me, new plans, that we would come back early and start the podcast early on, But when we went on holidays, my family and I, we like to take family holidays, and when you go on holidays with a toddler, you don't really go on holidays. If you have a toddler, you know what I mean. Not that they are not fun, they are absolutely fun because we have a toddler, like I said, so we try to pick holiday destinations with theme parks where they could have fun. I mean, they're young, that's all they think about is playing and having fun on all the activities. And when you are a toddler mom, because we don't take help, we just go the three of us, you are literally taking part in all those activities, and you have to say, no, don't do this, don't do that, or let's go do this activity. You are on the rides with them, you are literally taking part in all the activities that they are taking part in, and that means no rest for you. And they are full of energy because by the time they also want to take a nap, you are also out. So when I got back, I was like, trying to make schedules, reaching out to the guests for interview, to schedule interviews and stuff, up until I was like, what, Pam, I think you need to rest like for just a few days. And those few days turned into a whole quarter. Yep, we are closing off the quarter in a few days' time, and we are just starting with our podcast, and I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here, and you know what the beautiful thing is, that I am back. Like I said, I posted on my social media that we are we're out of office, but we'll be back soon, and we are back. Welcome to the first episode of the Purpose and Glow podcast 2026. So the beautiful part is that we are back. I am excited to be here. I'm excited to start off the new year. Oh, and by the way, if we have not met yet, we have not met on the streets of Windhoek yet, since I live in Windhoek. Happy New Year, compliments of the New Year, and may you all have a blessed 2026. 2026? Yeah, 2026. So, like I said, I am excited to be back. I am happy to be back. I am rejuvenated. Let's do this, Before we dive deep into the episode, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody, that has that we met, and they'll be like, oh, Pam, what's happening with the Purpose and Glow podcast? Why are you so quiet? Some would even come and give me ideas of like, Pam, I think you should do this onto the podcast. This is interesting. I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. Like, you don't understand. For me to even be here, it's like I've even forgotten how to record. I was like trying to catch up and be like, how do I say this, do I say that, do I continue with that? But yeah, I am excited to be back. So welcome to 2026, like I have said earlier on. So I had stepped away from social media. I have stepped away from like a whole lot of things for just a few minutes, just to reflect, to be rejuvenated, and just to realign my vision, and to see if I am still in line, and just to bring on some new strategic. That word is a tongue twister to me. I don't know if you guys have a word in English that just, if you don't say it with time, it just has that word for me, strategic. It's a tongue twister for me, but let me not derail once again. Now that I'm back, I know it's March, but it's better late than never, right? So last year, we did not close off the season because we still have a couple of episodes of the season, which I am excited for because of the topics that we are gonna have are things that I am quite interested in personally. Are things that I'm interested in, and I think I will enjoy the conversations with my guests because, I mean, if you're interested in something, I think you better enjoy the conversation because then it's something that you are either intrigued of, it's something that you want to know more about, you want to learn more about, or something that you could also give your 2 cents on because you are interested in the topic that you're gonna have. So that is it for the Purpose and Glow podcast. I am excited for the few more episodes that we have left before we close up the season and move into the new season. So let's talk about what is in store for the Purpose and Glow podcast, or what is in store for the Purpose and Glow at large. Not only the podcast, at large in 2026. So as we all know, or if you don't know, the Purpose and Glow was built around 2 pillars, right? Sorry. So the Purpose and Glow podcast, or the Purpose and Glow at large, was built with 2 pillars in mind. That is the podcast and the community. So the first pillar was the podcast, right? So the podcast is where we will have conversations around business, around wellness, and wedding talks, you know? So wellness is a vast heading topic. I don't know how to call it, but it's broad, you know. Wellness is broad because there's a lot of elements that contributes to wellness. It could be physical wellness, health, it could be studies, school. A lot of things contribute to your mental well-being. That contributes to your whole well-being as a person, mentally, emotionally, financially, everything that contributes to your well-being. So we're gonna have honest conversations around that. We're gonna have intentional conversations around that. Business, I want to have business people. That's not that willing because I know it's not easy to talk about business for those that are in business, but it's not to talk about the business per se. It's more on the journey of starting your own business or being an entrepreneur, because there's a difference between being an entrepreneur and being a business owner. And then I would like to have conversations also around weddings because I just love weddings, you know. And just the journey, how it felt from the love story to the dating period to being engaged and the journey towards the altar, and how it is maybe a few pointers on marriage, because I'm not a marriage something. I just want to talk, so I don't want to dive deep into that. So that's the first pillar of the Purpose and Glow podcast. That is business wellness and wedding talks, you know, just conversation that could help us grow. I say us because I'm also going to learn from my guests, and sometimes even through your own words you get to realize and learn a lot of things. Like, was that me that just said that? But so that's why I say we are both going to learn from the conversations that I have with my guests. And the second pillar is where it gets a little bit personal because it's about community. Let me start with something that is new on community. So late last year, I think it was around October. Yes, it was October, November, I think. I decided to start a book club, right? It's a book club where we meet every month, supposed to meet every month. Where it's a productivity book club. right? So where we are focused on productivity, not necessarily on not on novels and other, but it's more on personal development, productivity, well-being, just to better ourselves. So I started this book club late last year, and it was a closed off club. It was a closed off group late last year with a couple of friends of mine and a few people that I know, family. So I started this book club, and we're supposed to meet like last year before we wrapped up the year. However, due to so many circumstances, we could not. So we only met in the beginning of this year. We are on our third book. So the first book we read was in December, January. We read the book, what do you call the book? 20 Habits That Breaks Habits. But I'll try to put it onto the screen. It is an interesting book. I enjoyed reading the book, creating habits that are impeding us to be the best version of ourselves. But not so much. More about the author is that I enjoyed getting to learn more about him as a person, as an individual, because he, when you write a book, you get a little bit personal, and also to learn about his journey of being a business person, because he owns one of the biggest advertising businesses in South Africa, or Africa at large. And just quite interesting, just from a business perspective, and somebody who's also into business. So it just quite interesting, just limits, habits that are limiting us to be the best versions of ourselves. So it is quite interesting. It was a good productivity book to start with. Loved it. And then the second book we read, which was last month, Feb, was The View Woman by Ms. Christiane Cardoso. The book is based on the proverb 31 women. So many habits, so many productivity habits we could learn from the proverb 31 women. It was interesting. I loved it. So many daily habits that one could implement in your life that could make you just better yourself. And the thing is that the focus is not bettering yourself for people, but for you, to be the best version of yourself. And the fact that it's Christian based, it's like, I loved it. I thoroughly loved it. This wasn't my first time reading it, not my second or my third, probably my 10th. So the Veil Woman book is one of those books I read once a year. It's like a thing. I must read it once per year. So I'm just glad I read it in the beginning of the year. And we are on our current third book right now, and I'm a few chapters in, and I should say that, it is hitting. It is hitting, and it's really, really, I think this book is going to challenge me just to break barriers and be the person, and just not to be limited to what is around me or what I can see, or in the circumstances that I was born in, or that I'm faced with at the current moment. So I'm looking forward to just meeting up with the girls and talk about what we have learned. So we meet once a month. By the time this podcast, yes. So we're gonna publish air, I don't know, this podcast on a Wednesday, and then the week Saturday, we're gonna meet up with the girls and we're gonna talk about the book. And I like it because we talk about, because when we could all read the same book, right? But we learn differently and understand it differently because of the circumstances and the different walks that we are in at the current moment. So we understand it differently. So hearing it from somebody's perspective, it's quite nice, and we learn a lot, and we just come together. So I absolutely love this meetups, because it's just a way of girls coming together, and we talk about a certain topic, which is the book that we have for the month. So we pick one book per month, a productivity book per month, and then we just speak about it. And I love it because it's just inspiring conversations. We learn from one another, and we eat, we drink, non-alcoholic. So just saying, and we just have fun, and I love it. Yeah. So I wrote here. I said why I started the book club. So personally, I personally started reading because I wanted to improve my reading and writing skills, right? I've noticed that my reading and writing skills were a bit low, so I was like, you know what could I do to just improve my reading and writing skills? So I was like, let me start reading. And I started reading. This is way before COVID, so I started reading. I was like, what do I read? At the time, I got to read, who's the lady's name? That lady got me into reading, so I I want to mention her name. What's her book? She wrote a lot of novels. What's the lady? Daniela Stills. Yeah, yes, Daniela Stills. I read a few books of hers, but as a person, I was like, this is not the kind of books that I want to read, because she gets into details, and also the direction that she was pivoting to. I was like, this is not for me. So I moved on to a Christian author, I moved into a Christian author. I loved her. Ooh, loved her so much. I loved her. What's the lady's name? Her name is Francine Rivers. Ooh, Francine Rivers. There's a lady that I know of, and she was also a Francine Rivers book. So whenever we would meet, we would converse, like just about how we loved Francine Rivers' writing. And we also concluded that that lady is really a woman of God just because of her writings. Just to give you an idea, personally for me, have you ever thought of what Mary, Mary, the mother of Jesus, what was Mary doing like in the months leading before the angel appeared to her? Like, have you ever thought or imagined what was she doing in the moments or the hours, the day before, the minutes before the angel appeared to her? Have you ever just like for once like imagined? Yes, perhaps for me, before reading one of her books, I never really thought that deep. I'd be like, oh, okay, the angel of the Lord came to to Mary and told her she would give birth, she'll conceive a child, And have you ever thought for her as a person, what was she doing like a year before that? Months before that? Weeks, days, hours? What was she doing before the angel? Okay, so it just got me thinking, and I love books that will make me think like that too, because it makes you think and imagine and be like, oh, that was interesting. This is quite interesting. So that's just something that I liked about Francine Rivers' book, but she can also get detailed. And I was like, this is not for me. It's for me, and COVID hit. I read almost all the books of Francine Rivers by now. I've read all her books, and COVID hit, and then there was a storyline. I think this was a Chinese something, love story book or something that I read during COVID. It was online. The thing is that you had to keep on buying, and the data, I think you have tokens and stuff that you got to buy. So I read that. COVID for me, that's the book that I read. It was an online thing, the app that I had to read. So that is what I did during COVID most of the time. I was just reading. But I was like, this is not for me. And that's how I moved on to personal development books and productivity books, because as a person and somebody who was also into business, you have to invest in your personal development. So personal development, your well-being, and those are the books that I've read. And YouTube also, if you see my algorithm, is full of podcasts all about productivity and personal development, and Mel Robbins, just topics, the Jay Shetty, that's what my algorithm on YouTube is all about now. But I started reading books, and I would read random books. I read mostly, who's this guy, Robin Sharma. I read books I would read as long as it's a personal development book that I think it's something that interests me, or something that would help me grow or just be the best version of myself. I would read. But I just wanted to say that because why I started reading, to improve my reading and writing skills. Well, I think I've improved. I like to think I did. You guys be the judge of it because you guys are the ones that can hear me converse and how I communicate with you as well. And it turned to personal development, and now it's more of a thing I need to learn on how to articulate myself. Because it's one thing to know what you want to say one thing, know what you want to say, but something that comes out from your mouth is quite different. Topic for another day. But that is how I got into reading, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I saw book clubs going around, and none of them were of productivity. And I was like, you know what? I like productivity. I am always on a challenge, guys. I am always on a challenge. Always on a challenge. I'm always on a challenge. I'm always trying to challenge myself, better myself, either in my health, my marriage, in just life as a person, as a mom. I'm always trying to challenge myself, and that's where productivity comes in, right? So I was like, let me start a book club, a book club. I had the hardest time calling it a book club because I didn't want to call it a book club. But at the end of the day, it's based on a book that we'll talk about. So it had to be a good book club. That's how we started the Purpose and Glow book club, a community of ladies who just wants to better themselves through books, through reading books and productivity books. So that's how the Purpose and Glow book club was formed. So if you are interested in joining the book club, please do so. You will find the details in the bio. We're not going to read novels. If you want to read novels, it's something that you can do aside. But this one is just more for productivity, because with productivity, something that you read and you need to put into practice if you want to see the result or want to see a change. You've got to put the work, not just read and just like for pleasure. We are approaching April, and so far I've read 5 books this year. So imagine, 5 books already, and we are approaching April. A lot of people like to ask me, Pam, what do you do? What do you do? Because I read. So we pick one book, a productivity book, that we get to read per month, and then we meet up also once a month. And the rest you will come to hear about the terms and conditions of the Purpose and Glow book club. So then we have the Purpose and Glow collective. A collective is basically where productivity meets purpose, right? We all have purpose in life. We all have a purpose in life. We all have a calling to our names. We all have a purpose and a calling, right? But if you are not investing in your purpose or in your calling, nothing will happen. Literally, you could sit on your talent, you could sit on your purpose and be like, I know I'm good at this, or I know this is my calling and purpose, and not do anything about it. So that's where the Purpose and Glow collective comes in. It's for those that wants to build on their purpose, their calling, and those that wants to build on their purpose with daily routines, with daily habits, just so that we just position ourselves for opportunities to build discipline, through habits. Like I said, I'm always on a challenge. I am always doing something to better myself. I focus on 6 habits per day, and the goal is to just reach 3. There are days I reach 3, there are days I reach all 6 of them. There are days I reach 2 of them. It's better than nothing, because I'm always on a challenge. I'm always doing something to better myself, and it could be something as simple as just probably you want to invest in your image, you want to invest in your look, you want to invest in your health, you want to lose weight, you want to learn how to better articulate yourself. So you need to pick also a habit. Then you pick habits to learn on how to better articulate yourself. Like everybody knows by now, I am on a journey to being a speaker, a podcaster. A podcaster is also a speaker. So I need to learn on how to articulate myself because I don't really know how to articulate myself. I know what to say, but to articulate yourself is something else. It's definitely something else. So I'm on a journey of that. I'm on a journey of becoming a speaker. So I pick daily habits to just let me give you a few examples. For you to be a speaker, you need to look presentable, right? So I'm trying to work on my looks. I'm trying to work on how I speak, how I am, words, my vocabulary through reading and stuff, so those little things. I drink water for 3 liters of water per day, just little things that adds to the person I want to become. I want to be a speaker, so there are daily things that I need to do. There are things I need to do on a daily basis to help me reach the person that I want to become. That's productivity, isn't it? So the Purpose and Glow Collective is just to help you position yourself for opportunities, to help you build discipline, to help you be the person you said that you want to be. Right? So without action, without daily habits, your purpose or the person that you want to be, the barriers that you want to break, or what you're calling what you want to be remains an idea, and we all know that the distance between an idea or the person that you are and the person that you want to be is action. So with the Purpose and Glow Collective, we focus on action, daily habits, which is action basically. But yeah, the action, we call them daily habits. That is it. Using the 12-week year system, I love it. That's why I use Qs. I use quarters. I've divided my year into quarters. Hence why maybe sometimes you'll find me saying it's Q2, Q3, Q4. So basically that is it. The Purpose and Glow as nothing more and nothing less than that for now. That's what we're planning to do. It's just small daily habits, consistent routines, that just helps us improve the intentional living, that just helps us live an intentional lifestyle. And we know that once you invest in yourself, once you are working on yourself and becoming the person that you want to become, or your calling, or to live a purposeful life, then the glow inevitably comes, because it comes from within, and then the inner glow radiates from inside. Many times I find people also and they're like, "Oh Pam, how's the Purpose and Glow?" I'm like, "No, the Purpose and Glow." I'm like, we're pushing. That's my favorite word, we're pushing. And they're like, "Oh, I'm like, I see the glow as well because of the work that I'm doing inside." I like to believe, I am working on it. There's no way the glow will not show. The glow, especially if you're doing it with the right intentions. Even if you're doing it with the right intentions, you are doing it for yourself, and you're putting in the work. The glow will be inevitable. That's the most beautiful glow ever because it comes from within. It's just so beautiful. Once a few years ago, I had a mentor, and she mentored quite a lot of us, not just me. And in one of our meetings, she spoke of a flower. Have you seen a flower that just opens up and then it just becomes this beautiful thing? And that's how it is. When you invest in yourself, you water the flower, you prune it, you remove the weed, you do what needs to be done, and just put in the work, the daily habits, and just put in the work. It just, when it's time for it to bloom, it just becomes so beautiful. So that's what we're talking about. That is what the Purpose and Glow Collective is all about. So the Purpose and Glow at large is as the podcast where we talk about wellness, business, and wedding talks with my guests, or some of the episodes by myself as well. We have the book club, which I'm excited for. The book club where we talk, the productivity book club, and then we have got the Purpose and Glow Collective where we focus or where productivity meets purpose. That's it. That is it for 2026, which I'm excited for. No pressure, no comparison, no perfectionist, because I know that I could be one at times, but just growing with intention, living with intention, just being intentional with our lives, because once we are intentional with our lives, we will go places. That's what I believe. We will go places, and I want to go places. I want to go places. The book that I'm reading right now, it's quite daring. It's like, when you live a certain life, when you live a certain life, but you want more in terms of, that you are meant for more. You want to be more. Yes, in a godly way, not selfish ambition, but just ambitious. Be ambitious, but not with selfish ambitions, but with the right intentions, with the right focus. I want to go places. So thank you so much for watching on YouTube and listening on Spotify this episode. Your support means a lot to me. Your support means a lot to me. So please don't forget to subscribe so that you do not miss the upcoming episodes that we have in store. My smile is even broadening because I know of the topics that the conversations that we are gonna have, because something that I'm interested in. So please like this video, share this video, comment, and share this video with any of your friends and family if you think that it can relate to them or it can resonate with them. So this is the Purpose and Glow podcast. My name is Pamela Nangobe, your host. Until next week, stay in your purpose and keep glowing. Bye.